All right, so for those of you guys that don't know, Alliance Defending Freedom is a designated hate group. It's labeled as a hate group by plenty of like human rights organizations and whatnot. And essentially, what they do is they're a think tank funded by billionaires and millionaires. And what they basically do is they fund reactionaries to sue. Like, I guess the best example I can give is like, if some students feel like free speech on a college campus is like being impeded on because they're not allowed to like write some like reactionary conservative shit on like the sidewalk or something, the Alliance Defending Freedom will fund them to sue their school, and then they'll make a video about it. So imagine PragerU, but like they actually go out of their way to sue people that are like left-leaning or sue organizations that are left-leaning. And because they have so much money behind them, they can afford the best lawyers money can buy, so they almost always win. They're like an actual hate group, and it's pretty fucking crazy. They also run a shit ton of ads on YouTube. So PragerU, but litigious, true. So this is the name of the video. How this city's crackdown on sidewalk conversations robs women of real choice. Let's go ahead and watch.
Here's a question I bet you've never considered. Can a city forbid any speech about certain topics on a public sidewalk? Could the city of Pittsburgh, for example, paint a line around a section of public sidewalk and declare that in this zone, Steelers fans could talk about sports but not protest inequality? Of course not. That would be a blatant First Amendment violation. Now consider what's happening to Nikki Bruni and her friends in the Steel City. On the public sidewalks in front of medical buildings throughout Pittsburgh, you can talk about sports and the weather all you want. But from the lofty perches of Pittsburgh City Hall, one particular topic is strictly forbidden.
Can you, like, chill it with the whoosh sounds? All right, listen. We haven't heard any arguments yet, but the whoosh sounds are starting to fucking annoy me a little bit. This is about abortion, right? Yes, it is. So what I'm going to assume happened here... Actually, I'm really curious. Here, let's hear the name first, and let's actually find out what happened. I'm not going to take their word for the events as they happened from this video. We're going to look up what actually happened.
Out Pittsburgh, you can talk about sports and the weather all you want. But from the lofty perches of Pittsburgh City Hall, one particular topic is strictly forbidden. Nikki Bruni found this out.
Nikki Bruni. Let's see. Christ, nothing came up. Shit. Let's see if we can find the name of the person. What's... fuck, come on. Nikki Bruni abortion. We're gonna find the story. Literally nothing is coming up. Literally nothing is coming up on Google. I've spelled the name Bronny, maybe? Yeah, literally nothing is coming up. Here's a video by that woman. You left the chat too. You knew to leave the chat quickly, didn't you? Too bad, I can still permaban you. That's a perma right there. 124 years. Rickroll. Nice. You're a permaband. Suck my cock and swallow my fucking seed, you dumb fuck. Alright. Nikki Bruni. That's how it's spelled. All right. Third Circuit okays buffer zones for anti-abortion protesters. Philadelphia, the Third Circuit ruled unanimously Friday that a Pittsburgh buffer zone ordinance that puts a space between clinics and anti-abortion activists does not violate the protesters' rights. That's what was happening. I knew this is what was going to happen. So if you guys don't know this, a lot of pro-life people will essentially stand outside of Planned Parenthood clinics and harass and like berate any woman that tries to walk by. This is such a well-known thing that happens. It's literally in a fucking song. It's literally in a fucking song. It's such a well-known thing. It's the one that goes, fuck, how's it go? Shit, it's like, now you might know what it's like. You know, you know what I'm talking about? Basically, like, what'll happen is you'll walk in and you'll walk by and they'll have a bunch of protesters out there berating you, calling you, like, horrible things, calling you a murderer and things like that. And this is what they'll do. It's basically them trying to intimidate women going in there. And this happens to people who aren't even going in there for abortions. A significant amount of what Planned Parenthood does isn't even abortions. They provide tons of other shit, tons of other services. So essentially what they decided to do was create a buffer zone so that someone going in there has like a pretty safe distance from the people protesting so they can go in without being berated by these protesters. So that's what was actually happening. And now Alliance Defending Freedom is going to try to sue the city for it.
Out the hard way. As a young Christian, Nikki was gripped by the biblical teaching on the sanctity of life, that every person is made in the image of God and worthy of full dignity and respect. Every life.
Until you're fucking born, dumb fuck. Yeah, hold on. I think it was George Carlin had a really good, did a really good thing about this. How Republicans and conservatives they care so much about you before you're born, but the second you're fucking born, your mom could fucking shoot you out of her vagina off of a fucking cliff and they wouldn't care. None of these people give a fuck about you after you're born, okay? They only care as long as you're leeching off of like the life force of a woman. The second you're born, they don't give a solitary fuck about you.
Including life in the womb. So Nikki began doing what many people of faith have done for decades on the issue of abortion. She started by praying, first in private and then in public. That included right in front of the local Planned Parenthood abortion clinic, where she also had the chance to offer hope, practical help, and healing to women coming in and out of the building. Nikki also connected with the local chapter of 40 Days for Life,
So they were literally berating people. By the way, this is what they do. They give like pamphlets, so they'll berate people going in and out. There's actually a pretty wholesome story, like I think it was 4 years ago. It's been a while, about this. There was this issue that was happening where anti-abortion protesters were assaulting women trying to go into Planned Parenthoods. So what ended up happening was a bunch of war veterans came along and started protecting women as they went in and out of the Planned Parenthood and like fighting off the anti-abortion protesters. I'm also curious, what's this group about? We'll do some research on this group.
Nikki also connected with the local chapter of 40 Days for Life.
40 Days for Life. Let's find out what these people are all about. So there's their website. 40 Days for Life is an international Christian non-for-profit organization that organizes campaigns against abortion in more than 60 nations worldwide. Really started in 2004 by a member of the Brazos Valley Coalition for Life, including David Beret and Sean Carney. The name refers to a repeated pattern of events lasting for 40 days in the Bible, such as Noah's Ark, Moses' 40 days on Mount Sinai, and Jesus' 40 days in the desert. The campaign is active in the spring during the Christian season of Lent and in the fall, according to the Florida Catholic, an official Roman Catholic newspaper. More than 1 million people have participated in the campaign worldwide. Let's see. Opposition. Participants in the 40 Days for Life campaigns are required to sign a statement of peace stating that they will not act lawfully, that they will act lawfully and peacefully while participating in the campaign. I respect that. Holly Baxter, a journalist for the British publication The Guardian, states that the organization's participants at the vigils are generally friendly. However, abortion rights activists concerned that the campaign harasses and intimidates women seeking abortion have reached an opposition to the 40 Days for Life campaign, including protests against 40 Days for Life, such as 40 Days of Choice, among others. An ACLU, American Civil Liberties Union, spokesperson called 40 Days for Life the most dangerous threat to choice. I mean, yeah, there are ways to try to, like, they can't, like, they can't assault these people, generally women going in and out of like the Planned Parenthood and these clinics, but they can intimidate and like berate them. That they can do that as long as they don't lay hands on them. Then it's fine. Abortion rights activists have also pursued legal avenues such as buffer zones, especially in Canada and Europe. Hey, that's what they're talking about now, to prevent anti-abortion activists from approaching women or standing nearby abortion facilities. In some cases, abortion rights activists have clearly violated against 40 Days for Life. Abortion rights activists have reacted violently against 40 Days for Life participants. In the fall, The fall of 2010 campaign attracted attention when a Tennessee abortion provider was arrested for brandishing a handgun at 40 Days for Life participants demonstrating outside of South Carolina abortion facility. During the spring of 2019, an 85-year-old 40 Days for Life participant in San Francisco was beaten, his sign stolen, and the incident captured on video. Well, that sucks. For example, 40 Days for Life is campaigning against clinics in Ireland where abortion is illegal unless the mother's life is at risk, which help women who are thinking of having an abortion in Britain, where abortion is legal on a... Wait! 40 Days for Life has campaigned against clinics in Ireland where abortion is illegal unless the mother's life is at risk? Wait. Let's read that again. 40 Days for Life has campaigned against clinics in Ireland where abortion is illegal unless the mother's life is at risk. Damn. More like 40 days for death. Holy shit.
Which gathers Christians for peaceful prayer and compassionate sidewalk counseling in front of abortion clinics all over the world. You can guess what comes next, can't you? In 2005, the Pittsburgh City Council adopted an ordinance that bans people with pro-life views, like Nikki's.
I like how they all look really angry. This is something I've noticed about like how they do the animations on these videos, where like the people doing these like usually running a school or whatever, the city government, look like really angry. Like they're a bunch of these suits in like a room trying to crack down these people's freedom. All they're doing is implementing a buffer zone outside the clinic so that somebody who chooses to go in and seek some kind of treatment can walk in without being berated by pro-lifers outside. It's as simple as that. It is as simple as that.
From speaking with women or even praying within a zone stretching out 15 feet from a medical building's entrance in every direction.
It's only 15 feet? That's like, okay, I was expecting it to be like 25 to 50 feet. Only 15 feet? You realize they do this with like other shit too, right? Like polling stations aren't allowed to have any signs or anything for a candidate outside, like during the presidential election. Like you'll notice this, right? It's against the law to have like, for example, a Biden or a Trump sign outside of a polling station. It has to be like 25 to 30 feet outside, I think. Xander Hall, you're wrong. The fetus's life is more important. We should also be breeding all the time. Sus Magician, you are sus as fuck right now. You've been nothing but annoying this entire stream. I hope you're joking. 15 feet is nothing. That's like just enough room for them to walk by and maybe not get like grabbed or touched by anybody. Like it's literally hold on. Let's fucking hold on. We'll go to Google Maps. We'll find a random Planned Parenthood and we'll get an idea of like how far of a reach this is. Here's one in like LA. Let's find one in LA. Here's one right on a corner, right here. Here's a Planned Parenthood. So let's measure distance. Measure distance from here. Distance to here. That's 14 feet. Boom, right there. They can stand literally right there. This is as close as I can zoom in. That's shorter than the width of this car. That is how far away they have to stand from the facility, around the perimeter of it, and they can still protest. They could literally still protest on the fucking sidewalk outside. It's a 15-foot buffer zone. Here, actually, to be fair, we'll push it out. We'll push it out to here because that's like technically the building here. Yeah, they could still do it on the sidewalk. They still have room on the sidewalk, even if we go to the edge of the building. Look at that. That is nothing. That's enough room for anybody walking down the sidewalk just to come in and walk in. That is absolutely nothing. Holy shit. God, these people are pieces of shit. By the way, this is like Alliance Defending Freedom is an actual hate group. We'll get into it in a minute. And they're going to win this lawsuit most likely, I would assume, because these people they are funded by billionaires and millionaires. They have so much money at their disposal. They win almost every case. They have so much money at their disposal. It is insane. And they run shitloads of ads on YouTube as well.
Extending onto the public sidewalk and street. The city then painted lines in only 2 locations. Pittsburgh's 2 abortion clinics. Sidewalk counseling is the one conversation the Pittsburgh Ordinance is designed to ban. Yet Planned Parenthood escorts have free reign to enter the zone, surround women, talk over the sidewalk counselors, and deflect women from conversing with them or accepting their literature.
It's not what happens. I know what this is. I've read about this. Basically, Planned Parenthood will get volunteers to stand outside and like protect any women that are walking into the building. The only thing that these people don't allow is for them to cross over the line. If you want to go talk to them, you can do it. It's 15 feet from the building. It is barely, this isn't even accurate. Where this red line isn't even accurate. It more as well should be like halfway across the sidewalk. You can literally walk outside the perimeter and talk to them if you want to. All these people are here to allow you to do, or here to do, is make sure none of these people cross over this boundary to try to harass the women going in to try to go into the clinic. That's all they're there to do.
In fact, the city council chair who first sponsored the ordinance has openly admitted that its purpose was to stop women from hearing pro-life perspectives. That leaves
I'm going to imagine that's not the case, considering how much this video is lied already. But no, you are allowed to walk out there. The only thing that they're doing is saying, "Hey, stop yelling over here. Stop trying to come over here. If they want to come to you, they can come to you."
leaves Nikki with 2 bad choices: shouting from a distance in order to be heard over traffic or remaining silent. Sometimes a woman stops in the buffer zone and stretches out her hand to receive literature, but Pittsburgh even bans sidewalk counselors from reaching out at that critical moment. This robs a woman of a fully informed choice.
Guess what? The Planned Parenthood should be the one that's informing her. I'm sorry. Some fucking loony Christians should not be the ones informing these people about, like, medical knowledge. If they want, they can go walk outside of the zone and grab it. What? It's literally, it's 15 feet. It's 15 feet. That's nothing. We looked at it on Google. They can walk, if they actually want a pamphlet, they can walk outside of the zone and take one.
Also violates the First Amendment's free speech guarantee, as well as a unanimous Supreme...
Well, no, it doesn't. Because for one, I'm pretty sure Planned Parenthoods and many of these clinics are definitely private property. But no, it's literally just don't harass people coming in to the clinic. It's one little zone. You have the right to say what you want to say. You don't have the right to push it in someone's face. It's private property. No one's allowed to come into my room right now against my permission and scream about the Jewish question. Me telling them to get the fuck out or calling the police and them getting escorted out of my house isn't like breaking their rights to free speech. That's not what that is.
Supreme Court ruling that struck down a similar ordinance in 2014. But despite all this, Pittsburgh has refused to budge.
I wonder what that similar ordinance was. I bet it had nothing to do with private property or anything close to what's happening here.
In 2015, a year after the Supreme Court's unanimous decision protecting the rights of sidewalk counselors, Nikki and 4 of her fellow pro-life advocates took the city to court with the help of Alliance Defending Freedom.
Didn't they lose? I read a case about where they lost this case, or somebody pushing a case like this ended up losing. I don't know if it was the ADF one, though.
Circuit Court of Appeals tried to salvage Pittsburgh's ordinance by rewriting portions of it, but that ruling didn't help at all. City officials can still prosecute Nikki for speaking in the prohibited zone.
Nice.
And groups like 40 Days for Life are not allowed to pray there.
Nice.
In early 2020, Nikki and Alliance Defending Freedom appealed to the Supreme Court, which could decide to hear the case as early as the spring of 2021. The question before the court is simple enough. Can the government silence speakers just because it doesn't like...
Fuck. Amy Coney Barrett is on the Supreme Court. Shit. Uh-oh. Well, I don't know if they can vote because it's their private property, though. So that's the problem. So I don't know if even with Amy Coney Barrett on the Supreme Court, like it's unconstitutional for them to require to allow these people onto their private property to like harass people in their the sidewalk is public. The sidewalk's public, but their property, the Planned Parenthood's private property, isn't. So we'll see what happens.
Like what they have to say? Or is the right to free speech really for everyone?
Well, that's the end of the video. Here, really quickly before we wrap this up, let's go take a look at the ADF. Let's see. All right. So here's one from the SPLC, Southern Poverty Law Center. The Southern Poverty Law Center, SPLC, first listed Alliance Defending Freedom, ADF, as an anti-LGBTQ hate group in 2016. The SPLC lists ADF as a hate group because it supported the idea that being LGBTQ+ should be a crime in the US and abroad, and believes that it is okay to put LGBTQ+ people in prison for engaging in consensual sex. It has also supported laws that required the forced sterilization of transgender Europeans. ADF has spread lies about the LGBTQ+ community. It has, for example, linked being LGBTQ to pedophilia and claimed that a homosexual agenda will destroy society. ADF tries to couch its rhetoric in benign-sounding phrases, but the truth is that it works to dehumanize LGBT people and restrict their rights for being who they are. ADF has played a role in the passage of religious exemption laws that led to discrimination against LGBT people, such as Mississippi's HB 1523, and has litigated lawsuits that target transgender students in public schools, denying them access to bathrooms in accordance with their gender identities, and attempting to ban transgender women from competing in women's sports. ADF is one of the groups pushing legislation on the state level, including Idaho's HB 500, which is signed into law by Governor Brad Little in March 2020. As part of the nationwide campaign to exclude transgender girls and women in school sports and deny their identities, ADF is not only attempting to erase transgender people through its litigation and policy work, but they deliberately misgender them in media and on their website. Anti-LGBTQ hate groups like ADF often try to justify their opposition to the LGBTQ rights with rhetoric and harmful pseudoscience that dehumanizes them as people and threats to children's society and often public health. In 2019, the SPLC documented a sharp increase in the number of anti-LGBTQ hate groups at a 43% increase over 2018. Damn, Trump, you did a good job of that, huh? The SPLC defines a hate group as an organization that, based on its official statements or principles, the statements of its leaders or its activists, has a belief or practice that attacks or maligns an entire class of people, typically for their immutable characteristics. The organizations on our hate group list vilify others because of their race, religion, ethnicity, sexual orientation, or gender identity, prejudices that strike at the heart of our democratic values and fracture society along its most fragile fault lines. The FBI uses similar criteria in its definition of a hate crime. So yes, this is a SPLC recognized hate group that is advertising like crazy on YouTube. I'll help with the dislike bar there. I implore you all to do the same. You should also report it. And they help litigate. They help fund the lawyers for all sorts of reactionaries to try to sue people. So make sure to rate the video and dislike the fuck out of it and report it too. Report it to YouTube. They are in fact a hate group running YouTube videos on their channel. And that's what they're all about. So you know what to do. If you like this video, make sure to leave a like. If you want to see more from me, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon so you actually get notified whenever I go live or upload a video. Otherwise, YouTube won't do it. On top of that, you should follow me on Twitter through the link in the description. There's also a link to my Discord channel in the description as well. You should definitely join my Discord. Very good time. You might even have a chance to talk to yours truly. On top of that, if you have any money sitting around you don't need for anything else and you don't know what to do with it, you can always support me so I can keep doing what I'm doing. You can become a member on the channel by hitting the join button, subscribing to me on Patreon, or if you're really cool, joining the website, xanderhall.com/live. There's the chat right there on screen, and subscribing or donating there. It's what lets me keep doing this. This is my job. So I appreciate all of your support. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good one. See ya.